What is going on, kid family? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, guys, we are tearing apart the 2010 Honda CR-V in order to refinish those headlights, and we are going to refinish them permanently. We did once buff them out. It helped for about two weeks or so, 3 weeks, and then it goes back to normal. So if you are interested, I'm going to show you how you can do this by yourself permanently using an automotive 2K clear coat, using a Harbor Freight gun to spray it. So if you are interested in this video, guys, keep watching. Alright, as you guys can see, the condition of the headlights, most of this is yellow, just oxidation all over the place, and we're gonna get these things looking much better once we clear coat this. As you can see, really bad condition for a 10-year-old headlight that's been refinished once. Now you might be asking yourself, dang, that's a lot of work to refinish some headlights, and you are absolutely right. We pretty much got half of this car apart right here, and you know, I'm not smart by no means. I just quickly did a YouTube search on how to replace headlights, and you know this is where we ended up. So I'm glad I got those out. It's not as easy as the Hyundai we just recently did, but it is what it is. I'm just looking at the car right here, just checking what we have easy access to right now. This car was in an accident a while ago. A deer was struck with this vehicle on the driver's side, and you can actually see they repainted. They probably put this car on a frame rack, straightened the bars out right here. I mean, it's not the frame. The frame wasn't damaged by no means. The frame looks good, but this radiator support bracket was damaged. So you see how they kind of repainted it. Alright guys, so we got the headlight out. We're going to be roughing up the surface with a 500 grit sandpaper, get all the oxidation off. After the 500, last time I used an 800 and the results came out pretty good, so we'll probably run it through the same procedure. So you might be asking yourself, how do I know I'm done sanding? Well, once you go over with your 400, 500, 600 grit sandpaper and it dries, the headlight dries, you're gonna look for any shiny parts on the plastic. If it's shiny, that means you haven't sanded it enough, that the old clear coat is still there, and it's easiest to see again once it's fully dry. So here's a fully dried one. And particularly on headlights that have edges like this, you want to make sure you pay special attention to these edges, because that's a trap usually. That's where you won't sand and you'll get a run over there. But yeah, everything looks foggy, and I think we're going to be ready soon for the painting. Alright guys, at this point I air blew everything out. There's no fluids, there's no water and moisture on the headlight. I'm going to do a wax and grease remover on this, make sure there's no contamination on the headlight so the paint adheres to it properly. Again, last time we ran the 500 and the 800 grit sandpaper and the results came out pretty good, so I'm sticking with it. If you guys have other recommendations, we can go ahead, probably try those out as well. Here I like to look at the scratches. They're fine scratches, so that's the way we want to see them. For those of you guys interested, this is the wax and grease remover that I am using. It's about 30 bucks on eBay. Links in the description below if you guys are interested. For the most part, had pretty good results. This is a solvent type grease and wax remover. There are also water-based grease and wax removers, and they each have their purpose and things. This is the clear coat that I picked up, Upol 2K clear coat. This is a 4:1 mixing ratio, and I chose the fast hardener. You can get medium hardener or slow hardener, but you know what, for small parts like headlights, you want them to dry quickly. We're spraying indoors, so I figured a fast reducer or a fast hardener will just make these things dry up a lot faster, a lot less chances for dust to fall down on the headlights themselves, and you could just get the job done a lot quicker. So that so far has been working good. The gun was clean since last time. Harbor Freight spray gun, you can pick these dang things up for like $15. So we are going to be spraying at around 35 to 40 psi for this gun. We're going to have the fan pattern wide open. Last time I was spraying this, I was spraying it with the fluid tip all the way out. So you know, every time you depress the trigger, a lot more fluid comes out, and it was quick. If you can move quick, you can have that fluid all the way open. But you know what? Even though I was doing it quick, the adhesion was good, the coverage was good, I felt like I wasn't in control. I wasn't watching the paint lay down, you know, that wet coat, how I was dragging it along. You can't see it because you got to move way too fast. And if you don't move too fast, you're going to make a run, and it's just going to look terrible. So on this paint job, I'm going to slow it down with the fluid, try to go slower, try to keep it controlled, you know, make sure I can see the wet coat accumulating, and hopefully we have, you know, even better results. Because again, I am a brand new painter, guys, so this is all pretty much new to me. This is gonna be the second time I paint with a real clear coat, 2K clear. So again, I got this mixing cup right here. We're looking at the 4:1 mixing ratio, and I know a lot of people might have some questions on the mixing ratios and what do they mean, but essentially you just want to pick the mixing ratio that the manufacturer recommends. At this point, you got all these numbers here: 1 1 2 2 2 2 2. It's like, what the hell, this is supposed to be 4:1. Why is this 3 3? Why is this number here? Essentially, in simple terms, all these are 4:1 mixing ratios. The number from 1 to 6, it just depends on how much quantity you need. So for a headlight, I need the smallest amount of fluid possible. So someone would look at the first one here, that's going to be, and the first one, and then the second one, and that's going to be your complete 4:1 mixing ratio. If you need hella more fluid for, let's say, clear coat of the hood or something, you'll look at this 6 and this 6. Again, all of these are 4:1 mixing ratios, just different volumes. So I hope that clears things out. I was confused on this as well when I first started doing this. And you know, even with the smallest amount, 4:1 1:1 here ratio, I had way too much clear coat last time. We ended up spray painting the valve cover, and this thing looks hella wet, guys. I'm so happy with the results here. So again, we don't want to waste clear coat, so I'm actually gonna just go a bit under the one here and under the one here. Hopefully the ratio still is a 4:1 at the end of the day. So let's not waste any time, guys. I got the floor wet just a little bit, 2 exhaust fans ready to go. Clear coat is some really bad stuff for you guys, so make sure you wear your proper PPE. I'm gonna mix these things up. I already waxed and grease removed the headlights. I'm just gonna do a tack rag in a few minutes once the wax and grease remover dries out. Now you don't want to tack rag too fast and too soon once you do the wax and grease remover, because I've noticed sometimes the wax and grease remover is still on the headlight and it actually messes up the tack rag. The adhesive that's on the tack rag, it kind of can melt it in on the headlight, and then you're going to have adhesion problems. So give it about 5 to 10 minutes after the wax and grease remover. Alright guys, we got our mixing ratio complete. Let's mix this up. Also, once you pour this into the paint cup, man, pour some acetone in this cup. This thing dries hella fast, and you're gonna mess up your mixing cup real quick leaving this in the cup. Got our strainer here. Hopefully that's a good amount of fluid. Again, you don't want to just be wasting too much clear coat. Every dollar counts, boys. Alright guys, we got PPE. Highly recommend goggles, man, because this thing just sprays everywhere. So the better you can see what you're laying down, the better your results will be. So let's get started, boys. I can't believe it. The gun is clogged from the last time we sprayed it yesterday. Look, it won't even get the fluid out. Okay. Alright, let's see if it works now. Holy crap, that's crazy. I'm telling you, this thing dries so fast. So if it goes into your lungs, dries out in your bronchioles, have fun. Alright, we got it to work. Alright guys, so the second coat, I didn't go too heavy again. Where I didn't go too heavy, the clarity's not that great. It's still kind of pixely. It's not everywhere, but I do see some pixely stuff like right on the bottom here and right towards the top. So we're gonna do a third coat, nice and heavy this time. We're just gonna give it all it's got. Hopefully it doesn't run, and then we'll see. Hopefully no problems. I haven't done a third coat with this clear yet, so we'll see how she turns out. Alright guys, we're done. We ended up laying 3 coats on these, and this is the outcome. To be honest with you, overall I'm still happy with how everything came out, but this time we ran into a little bit more problems. So the same problem as last time, there's still plenty of dust, little dust specks that are over the headlight. I'm not sure if the GoPro will pick it up. There's tiny dots all over both headlights, and again, that's not the worst thing. It's to be expected with like a 2000 3000 grit sandpaper. That will come off. Now there was some kind of debris right here that landed right there. It's like a little piece of grass or something, I'm not sure. And then once that debris landed there, it actually created a run. And there's also some runs right alongside this edge here. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to pick it up right there. You can kind of see it. A little bit of runs on this headlight. We also had runs right over here. A little bit of runs. Again, not crazy noticeable, but it is there. So with the new setting on the gun, the first coat was a light coat. The second coat, I kind of tried to go a little heavier but slower. So again, some areas that weren't really cleared that thick, were very pixely, so that third coat I made sure I went kind of heavy, you know, made sure I had a nice wet coat all around, and that's what happened. Went a little too thick. If the gun was a better gun, like with a 1.3 millimeter tip that actually sprays finer, that fine atomization probably wouldn't have made the clear coat run as the 1.4 tip Harbor Freights gun, which sucks as far as atomization is concerned. It's not the best. It'll get the job done, but you know, you might have little issues here and there. So as far as this, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them. I'm gonna take a look at them tomorrow. We might end up having this dry and then just hit it with a 3000 grip just to get the little dust specks off. We'll see what happens with the runs. If we want, we may hit it with like 1000 right at the run and then buff it out. But again, the whole project is to keep things simple, because if I'm going to be doing this for customers, I can't be having problems like this where things are running. I got the car. I can't have customers' cars like this, guys, in my driveway, and then these things will take overnight to cure. So if a customer just brings me his car, I gotta do all the work. Man, how much does one charge for this? You know, on some headlights, you can get new headlights on eBay, which are not OEM but OEM spec. You can get them for 150 bucks. So I can't charge too much, but then again, this is a long process for the most part, especially if you have to take the vehicle apart like so. So it's kind of iffy situation, iffy business if you want to get started doing that. You know, you can never really make money on cars, man. You really need to be smart with your finances. But I think that's it for today's video. If I'm gonna sand them, you guys will see that obviously on the next video. But I'm gonna end this right here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll have more videos like this coming up this season, so I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold.